Hola Colchoneros, welcome to Atleti Fanatics, and we are back from a thrashing again at Camp Nou. And again, like always, we scored the goal, we took the lead. This time we couldn't maintain it, and like we discussed in the preview as well, it'll be about maintaining the lead, which we could not, and it ended 3-1. And I think the first half could have been much worse with the penalty and an amazing save from Oblak, which I think was very, very good. But still, we lost this match 3-1. I have a lot of frustration about this because, again, it's not that like we had the chances to score the goal, and we also were very poor defensively. I don't know what happens to us when you play at Camp Nou. Like our defenders forget to defending, attackers forget attacking, scoring. I don't know what happens. Like, and some players were literally having a jog in the park. For example, Nico Gonzalez. Like, it really, he just had one pass, by the way, in 45. Just one
One
pass.
accurate pass, not one. You have five passes, one
I
accurate.
mean, like, yeah, like accurate pass. Exactly. Like, I call it that a pass only. Like, the rest is like not really a pass. I don't know what you're trying to do. But anyway, the cameo of Griezmann that frustrated me as well because what was he doing half of the time? And like we can play Barcelona B at this point at Camp Nou and we still want to win because the way we play at Camp Nou is just I don't know. I didn't see the best version of Giuliano. I didn't see Julian Alvarez in the first half. The second half was still much better, but the first half I didn't see Julian Alvarez at all. And then we were talking about the in the preview as well, Alejandro Balde versus Giuliano Simeone. Alejandro Balde won that battle. I mean, I don't remember just this once. I remember Giuliano going with the Gerard Martin tackle and the second one where he missed the goal. That's it. That's the only memory I have for Giuliano. And surprising enough, Molina had a good game. Molina had a very good game, and like I think like he should be happy with this game. He played 90 minutes, and I think for me he had a very very good game. And then the only 2 3 players were there. David Hansko, I would say sometimes when he was facing Lamine Yamal 1v1, he did well. I think there was a couple of times where he got beaten to Lamine Yamal, which again is natural. Any other left back would have a hard time against him. But the question we are coming up to the starting lineup. This is the most controversial one. But before we talk about the starting lineup, Saint Cakes, your thoughts?
We're doing it in order. I mean, it's fine. um, I I think the I had such a frustration coming into it like after the game because I was like, this is an Atletico within rhythm. This is an Atletico that we finally started using some of our bench players quite well. This is an Atletico where we're slowly getting, not even slowly. We've all of the big games we've played. I think we've played well in everyone except maybe the Arsenal one where we just kind of got trounced. And I think until that goal, even in the Arsenal game, until that goal into the second half, I feel like we were still close enough to compete. We just needed to do one or two more things to really like shake up the system. But it's like technically, Simeone has gotten most of the big games right, and then more than that, I thought Barcelona have gotten all of the big games wrong tactically in every shape or form. So to face an injured Barcelona, like a not 100% Barcelona at the Camp Nou in a big game where you can really like they've barely been back. This is a time where you could make a statement and show, hey, we are Atletico, we're a big team, we can do great things. And then I saw the lineup and I was just like, oh, we're losing, you know? Not even like we're drawing or something. I was just like, damn, we're just losing. It's like okay. So I I don't know. I knew from the start. I think it's the same thing with the PSG Club World Cup game earlier this year. Like as soon as I saw the lineup, I was like, I gave up a lot of hope. But that's it. That's my initial thoughts. Fran, your thoughts?
Yeah, lineup was pretty bad. I think well we started the game well. We were aggressive, but it was clear that as the game progressed, something wrong would happen when you have Lenglet in defense. So yeah, I think Simeone was made the big mistake of getting scared as he sometimes does. He scored the first goal and we dropped deep, stopped being aggressive, and we let Barcelona have their fun. And well, when you give Pedri time with the ball, not good things are going to happen. But yeah, and you were saying that Nico Gonzalez made one pass, and I thought that no way that's true. I went to check, and he made one pass. That's insane. And well, Julian always received the ball with 5 Barcelona players around him, no partners. So everything that could go wrong went wrong, but I feel like it would have been much better with a better lineup in place, something that made more sense, and the substitutions were also pretty bad. I mean, Gallagher was the first substitution. And some decisions like Nico Gonzalez played pretty much inside. At no time was playing on the wing. Baena was more attacking the channels than Nico Gonzalez, and Hanchko was always out wide. Hanchko was pretty much man marking Lamine Yamal, so he wasn't really paying attention to his inside. So Lenglet wasn't correct in that, and there were huge spaces between Hanchko and Lenglet, and well, that's where the first goal arrives. So yeah, it overall it's a mess. I think a mess.
Well, I don't really agree with the lineup thing because again, I think like Simeone, what he had to go with it. Because I'm gonna ask you guys this question: like, who would be your best bet against Lamine Yamal on the left hand side? Who would you play?
Oh well, I don't think there's an individual that I think would be able to control Yumi Yamal. I think it was a matter of why do you have an individual to control Yumi Yamal? We did the same thing against Saka again in Arsenal game. The same thing I just mentioned, where he made a mistake on that same flag. Why?
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, who would you like? Who would be your best? Like, who would you trust to face Lamine Yamal on that position? Would it be Ruggieri? Would it be Javi Galan? Or would it be David Hansko?
I wouldn't want someone. I know that nobody's going to stop Lamine Yamal. So ideally, I would play someone very close to him, someone aggressive that doesn't leave him much space, because we know Lamine is going to win that duel. So the idea is that when that player is stuck to Lamine Yamal and doesn't give him space, the idea is to protect the spaces behind, so that when that player is out of position, marking Lamine, the back is covered. And that's what I had problems with. I know nobody's going to stop Lamine Yamal, but ideally you have Ruggieri playing very close to him and Hanchko better positionally at the back so he can cover the spaces that Ruggieri eventually leaves.
That's what I was thinking too.
But then again, I mean, like Barcelona is a very good team to find spaces in the middle as well. Then you make your middle, like vulnerable.
I mean,
so see, for Simeone's perspective, like, I can't really blame him because again, with the players he had, I would say he had to go with Longley, and now you can question like why is Longley with us? Like, why don't we have a quality centre back or a much better left back so that David Hansko can play as a centre back? Because we all know Diego Simeone doesn't trust Ruggieri for big games. I don't think he has started in any big games. Real Madrid, David Hansko. Arsenal, David Hansko. Liverpool, I can't really remember. Ruggieri started in Liverpool?
Galan.
No.
And now
Javi Galan. Obviously, Javi Galan. Yeah,
two goals.
Exactly. So yeah, there you go. So that's what I'm saying. Like, he doesn't trust Ruggieri for big games.
Okay,
so
but
now we only have is David Hansko.
Say you don't trust any of your left backs. Doesn't it make more sense to play a back three and Nico Gonzalez as a left wing back, which he has played before, instead of playing Nico Gonzalez centrally all game? I mean, there were times when we were defending with Nico Gonzalez as an 8, deep 8, and I don't think it makes much sense. He isn't a good defender, but if you stick him close to Lamine out wide, you can have Hanchko defending as a center back.
But then again, what you're doing is again that kind of thing, rolling the dice. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Is it rolling
And
dice? But anyway,
I
let's talk
mean,
about
kind
the
of. I mean, he did the same thing with Longley as well. Again, like whenever you'll face a big team, he will have this problem with David Hansko playing as a center back or left back. I'm telling you right now, every time we'll play a big team, he will have this problem, whether to play David Hansko as a left back or a center back. And in most of the cases, I think David Hansko would go for the left back. If let's say Robin Lenormand comes back, there'll be Robin Lenormand, Jimenez, and Llorente, which was again the lineup against Arsenal. And again against Arsenal as well, I would say we were doing pretty well until Jimenez got subbed off, and after that it all went to hell. But for me, that back four it still looks good than this back four. Much more stable. Like I'm much more confident with that back four. But anyway, we needed a ball winner in midfield. Johnny Cardoso was there, and I have no idea. Like, what is this guy having? Like, seriously, this guy is so fragile. Like, how? First minute you had first duel and you goes injured. Like I have no idea what's going on with Johnny Cardoso. And then eventually Koke comes in for me again. Koke, like we all said, like he is a very good player. But then again, with Barcelona pressing high up on the pitch, Koke wasn't really getting the time. And Koke made so many mistakes in this game, giving away ball cheaply and then suddenly putting us back on pressure as well. So Koke for me didn't have a good game as well. It was after like Pedri went off, Raphinha went off, where Koke started to have more of the ball. But again, it wasn't enough. And then Giuliano again, I think he didn't really play with the same aggression and that willingness he has. He didn't play with that one. But again, with Molina and Giuliano, it was still fine. The right hand side was still fine defensively. We didn't. I think it was once or twice where Alejandro Balde got in front and he tried to cross the ball or tries to take the shot. Just once or twice. Other than that, I don't see we had any threat from the left hand side of Barcelona. And up front, again, Julian Alvarez playing alone. Now, I didn't understand this. I think, yes, here Simeone made a mistake with Nico Gonzalez. Like, if you're really looking for a player for for his aerial strength, I think that's the only reason where Nico Gonzalez was. Because again, when Oblak was kicking the ball, he was kicking it to Nico Gonzalez. Nico Gonzalez was there to flick the ball to either Julian Alvarez or Álex Baena to make the run behind the defense. I mean, like seriously, like you need Nico Gonzalez for that. Like you have Soloth as well, or maybe you can go with Griezmann as well. Griezmann is a very good player, uh, aerially as well. So I didn't understand the Nico Gonzalez thing, and with him playing as a striker or with him playing as a left midfielder, I was very confused. But for me, the first half, the only player who showed up was Molina and Álex Baena. That's it. But we'll talk about the first half. So let's just talk about the goal, which we did the first 10-15 minutes, which we had. So, what we were doing so well that we had Barcelona on the back foot for the first 15-10 minutes. We were pressing them high on the pitch and everything was going well. We were trying to like transition play. This one thing also like really frustrated me. As soon as anyone got the ball in midfield, our players were just running, making the run. Instead of anyone dropping deep, try to link up and then play the ball behind the defense. Let's say it's me and Said Keeks link up, and meanwhile, Fran, you make the run behind the defense, so that we can like get the defenders out of position as well. There was no one. If we had we anyone getting the ball in midfield, Nico Gonzalez was making the run, Julian Alvarez was making the run at the same time, which I think didn't really work throughout the game.
What I don't like is that a lot of times, well, at least in the past two games, those runs were made by Baena. And I don't know why he's been pretty much attacking the channels all games. He did score the goal, which was a positive, but Baena is someone you want deeper. You know, when in times when Barcelona had a lot of the ball and we couldn't get out of our own half, I want Baena deeper with the ball, giving us a few seconds to breathe, not attacking deep. So that's something I don't understand and I don't like.
True. I mean, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, Baena had a very good game. Like, even with the 50-50 balls, he was there, he was tackling, he was, showing some willingness from the rest of the players. And again, like I said, Molina had a very, very good game. And that ball was right on money for Baena. He did the same ball, which Kubarsi missed it. And Baena was trying to do the Carrasco thing on Juan Garcia. But I think he was offside on that one. But for me, Baena going off in the second half at the 60th minute, like literally, like we lost something, and hopefully Baena is not seriously injured because again, he was, he was mentioning his hamstring, so I hope nothing is there. But anyway, the first half from rest of the players, like 8 players, were horrific. Like I don't even know where to start. And we have to talk about Julian Alvarez as well, away from home. He just has one goal away from home in 15 games. And that one goal came against Spaniol, that free kick at the start of the season. So, again, Julian Alvarez' form has been not going well since Real Madrid. And we need to talk about him as well because, again, like, like when he's playing good, he's way too big for Atletico de Madrid. And when he's not playing good, it's Atletico de Madrid who's in the wrong team, it's a defensive team, blah, 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 blah. I mean, like when things are not working, you rely on your star players. Like, like they come up with something extraordinary. And Julian Alvarez wasn't doing that. And he hasn't been doing that for a few games now. And that's what I think we're really lacking at the moment as well, the firepower up front. But anyway,
Uh,
what I want to say,
oh, sure.
yeah, no, no, go on, go on, go on.
I think, I think you kind of have to turn around and you do have to point the finger at Simeone a bit because as much as you would say, I think Alvarez probably does need to perform a bit more, and that's a fair thing to say. To be honest with you, you have to turn around and say, of those 15 games in La Liga that we've played, how many of those games have actually been Julian focused or Solat focused? How many of those games have been towards trying to get the most out of the squad that he has right now, or versus him just trying to rely on players who probably aren't able to give him what he wants, and he knows that he won't be able to get what he wants. So, you could even say that to some degree in this game today too as well, or yesterday. What Fran was saying is like as much as Bayern getting the goal was great, and then also getting another 1v1 on Juan Garcia, why would you not want Julian or Giuliano or Nico even to make those runs and have Bayern being the person in the midfield alongside Barrios, alongside ideally it should have been Johnny, but it wasn't Johnny today because he got injured. Who should have been able to get those situations in between the back. You want those three as your runners. Bayern is your only runner today for some reason. You don't make any balls from the left hand side to the right. Giuliano was basically invisible as a result, as you said yourself, right? And I can't really disagree in the first half, especially. He wasn't really particularly visible. Nico Gonzalez, I don't know what to talk about him. I really don't want to talk about him. Julian in the first half just didn't have anything to do. And as much as I want him to play for better, and I think he can play a lot better, it starts from to me. It starts from the lineup. It's like, okay, do you believe? Like you said, you don't believe that he could have done a better lineup. I think I feel confident where I could say, yeah, you could have done a better lineup. I think the only one of the players I felt concerned about Nico, Longley, and Molina starting, right? I think Molina is the least worrying of those three because Molina in the Inter Milan game was good, right? Wasn't good the next game against what do you call it? Was the next game after we played?
Oviedo.
Right, Oviedo. Wasn't great, which is confusing because you went from Inter Milan, great team, to Oviedo, possibly relegation team, and you played worse in the worst game. I don't know what that's about. Played good in this game. He has his flaws, and we'll talk about that in the second half. But I would say, like, Molina's my least worried out of those three. Longley was prone to make at least one error. He made at least three. Nico, I knew this was going to happen because he hasn't showed up in any of our big games besides the Villarreal game. Well, that's a lie. He played well in the Real Madrid game, but
Yeah, I mean, I agree on that point. Like if we wanna pay 35 million for Nico Gonzalez, we need the Fiorentina version of him. We don't need the Juventus version of him. And for the past few games, it has been the Juventus version.
even that isn't the problem. It's like, okay, we know what Barcelona is bad against. If Sevilla can beat Barcelona 4-1 at their ground, we can beat them at Camp Nou. We don't need to beat them 4-1 to be like, yeah, we're so much better than Barcelona. You just need to be able to win the game. When you look at the left hand side, everything that was particularly bad in that game was on that left hand side, and in the second half it was on the right hand side. But the first half was, I can't explain to you in terms of just, you need to, at some point you just have to sit down and say, Simeone, you are trusting players who are going to put you away from points. Longley, we know who Longley is. We've seen him the whole of last year. I don't know why you signed him, but you have him now. But Hanko is a better player. He's been better defensively. He's been better on the ball. Langley in this game had multiple times in the build-up where he was making mistakes, which is supposedly his best trait. Hanko has been better than him in both of those, both defensively and in his best trait. On the left-hand side, right, on the left-back position, right, Jerry is not better than Hanko on the left-back. He's not better than him in what he wants, to be honest, either. But what he does is he allows Hanko to play there, and he also allows whoever in front of him to be comfortable about the fact that there is a left back who will respond to my actions or inactions, right? That's what he's there for. As much as I would want to, you could say that Simeone probably doesn't trust him. He should trust him because the alternative has not worked out multiple times so far.
I agree with that. Like after this, I think like Simeone has to. I mean, like we're losing anyway away from home. So like, why
What
don't we
what do
like
you have to
give a
lose? We're
chance to
losing.
JD?
We're losing. Please, you're
Exactly.
literally setting us up to lose more. So um, when it comes to, when we get to the first goal, but what are your thoughts, Fran? What do you feel about that whole situation, especially on the?
Well, I very much agree with the left back part. Yes, it's that Ruggeri puts your best players in their spots because if not, you have them out of position. I know that he doesn't trust him, but why would you not trust him over Nico Gonzalez? I mean, I know he's not from Argentina, but it's a whole different thing. So yeah, and I think Nico Gonzalez, when we said that we need to get his Fiorentina version, but if you watch his Fiorentina version, he was pretty much a very offensive winger. He used to step in the box a lot. He usually didn't play anywhere close the inside of the pitch, and he was more making an impact through the right side rather than the left side. And you see that and you think, well, then it literally makes no sense to bring this player to the club in the moment we brought him. And I remember that his first games he was playing quite good. He played against Liverpool quite well. He scored against Villarreal. So you had a lot of the fan base hyping him a lot and creating these false expectations that he's incredible when he really is not. And he's putting Baena out of position. He's not doing what he does best. So we don't need him. I'd rather Gallagher plays there. I remember last season whenever he played on the left side, attacking the box and playing more as a 10 or left winger. I prefer much more that than current Nico Gonzalez, even though I don't particularly like Gallagher.
No, true. I definitely agree. I think like we are definitely overplaying Nico Gonzalez at this moment. I mean, we talked about this in the preview as well.
Mhm.
And I think Simeone did realize his mistake because again he was very quick to change Nico Gonzalez. in the halftime itself. He was like, nah, this needs to change. He puts in Conor Gallagher. For me, Gallagher should have come on for Johnny Cardoso because Koke was too slow in that midfield, and we literally lost the midfield battle after that. And maybe Gallagher would have, like provided much more pressing sense, and maybe Barrios could have much freedom going forward. Because with Johnny Cardoso, Barrios was playing up front, and Johnny Cardoso was staying back. And after the injury to Johnny Cardoso, Barrios kind of stayed back, and then Koke was going up front, and which again doesn't make any sense because Pedri was beating Koke very easily, and I think that was one of the moments where we lost the midfield as well. But for me, it would have make much more sense in this game to bring on Gallagher for Johnny Cardoso and Thiago Almada for Nico Gonzalez. Thiago Almada, for me, like, say what you want, he had a much better impression than Nico Gonzalez in this match.
He had his flaws, and we'll talk about them in the second
I
half.
mean, yeah, but again, much
but
better than Nico Gonzalez, though. Much.
you can't
That's
really,
what I'm
you
saying.
can't deny that. You can't deny the fact that Nico Gonzalez was invisible for the first 45 minutes. And then Almada, despite what happened, we'll still say you created a lot more. You did a lot more for us. But
Yeah, but especially in the zones where Nico Gonzalez was playing, you know, Nico Gonzalez does not feel comfortable playing where he was playing,
yeah,
and Almada does. So it really makes sense.
Yeah, yes.
But anyway, guys, just look at the first goal right now. So now the main talking point is obviously the gap between Longley and David Hansko. So in the first picture, we have Pablo Barrios covering that gap. Now with him is Dani Olmo, obviously. Like I said, after Johnny Cardoso went off, Pablo Barrios kind of stayed back, and Koke, as you can see, with the referee up there, is up front. And then we have Nico Gonzalez, Álex Baena, and Julian Alvarez as our first three players for the press. But second, Raphinha, I think this is where I really appreciate Raphinha. I think he kind of like outsmarted us. He saw the gap. He came from left wing towards the middle of the striker. He saw the gap between the striker and the right wing. He's trying to exploit this gap, as we can see in the second picture, where Barrios is still there. Raphinha is trying to make the run, but again, Barrios is there. Like, he knows the threat over there, and he's pointing to David Hansko and Longley as well. Constantly, like check out this guy. He's making a run, and he's there as well. If there any ball comes in like from the ground, okay. But then the third picture, just one mistake. Barrios is up front, way up front, and there's a big gap between Longley and David Hansko. No one to cover that gap. Now, Nico Gonzalez, again, like we discussed, is having a jog in the park, and there are 5 players around Pedri. No one presses him. Pablo Barrios knows it. He points it out. He points it out to Raphinha that there's the guy over there. I don't know what happens. David Hansko someone should have noticed. David Hansko is over there. Longley is over there. And both of them didn't notice at all. David Hansko doesn't even move throughout the move. Okay. And then Longley, instead of trying to be ready for it, because as like any other defender would be right now, he would be alert. He would be ready. If there's any ball play to Raphinha, I'll quickly switch up and I'll quickly try to intercept the ball. Maybe then he has a chance. But instead, what Longley do is he anticipates that the ball is going to be played to Lewandowski. He moves a little bit towards Lewandowski, and then even creates a much now there's already a big gap. He creates even bigger gap. And then Pedri eyes would have lit up when he saw this gap, to be honest, without any pressure at all. He plays a very nice through ball. Raphinha is through, and it's already too late. The only guy who could have recovered from this would have been, in my eyes, Van de Ven, maybe because of his pace. That's it.
But
Thoughts, Fran?
no, yes. In all these pictures, we see that Longley is pretty much double marking Lewandowski. But watch the picture of the goal. What threat does Lewandowski pose that far from the goal? Do we need to worry about him attacking deep? why is Lengle double marking Lewandowski and leaving all that space in the channels? I know that in the first pictures we see Barrios covering those spots, but if you know that Barrios is off, isn't protecting those spaces, what sense does it make to double mark Lewandowski?
No, but the thing is, like, he can't leave a big gap in the middle as well.
Yes.
Yeah, but
That's the
you have
thing.
to.
Like, I mean, like,
You don't have
if
to
he
have a
moves,
gap regardless. Like you can have enough space between both of those two places, where
no,
you
what I'm saying
trust
is
in
like,
Jimenez to be able to 1v1
yeah,
Lewandowski.
Yes.
I agree. But what I'm saying is like, let's say Longley tries to close down on Rafinha. Now, just look at the gap. If Longley comes near to Rafinha, you guys can see there would be a massive gap between Longley and Jimenez. Because just look at the space Rafinha is attacking. He's literally in the middle of David Hansko and Longley, and that's a very big gap. If Longley comes near to Rafinha, he leaves a big gap for Lewandowski. So for him, the situation is very, very uncomfortable.
Okay, but we're near the middle of the pitch. Do I want Lewandowski to have more space or do I want Raphinha to have more space?
I mean, for me, I would say you can't give space to either of those.
I would say
Lewandowski,
Lewandowski, but even then, you obviously I can understand the desire to not want to have either, but this is the inherent problem that you have when you play Longley, right? The decision making doesn't make sense to most people and to most defense. Atletico Madrid is a defense of a very long lineage under Simeone of genuinely very, very, very good defenders. In the recent years, that doesn't feel that way, but the anticipation, the understanding that Simeone has given usually means that if you're coming to Atletico, you become a better defender. There are exceptions. This is one of those exceptions.
true. What I'm saying is like, as a like like if you're a defender, like your first instinct would be, there's a gap, you realize it, you
Cover the
check your
gap. Yeah.
shoulders, okay, and first of all you'll direct, because again the first press, again we call it in football the first defender. Who is the first defender? The one who's close to the ball,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so you have to yell at those players so he can see the game. Pablo Barrios, again, he has to yell at Pablo Barrios, like, close the gap, press. He doesn't do anything. I mean, I can't expect from Longley that that leadership as well, because this guy was the guy who scored from his hand at the Real Madrid game, where everyone was celebrating, and he was like sneaking, walking away. He know that it hits his hand. He doesn't tell anyone. So I mean, come on, he has to be communicative in this, or thing. Like, he knows there's gap, and I'll point out David Hansko as well, because again, if Baris is pointing out, David Hansko can clearly see like who he is pointing out, and then David Hansko do nothing about it. David Hansko just stands still throughout the move. So I think it was a collective mistake, from started with Barrios with the half-hearted press, then David Hansko, and then eventually Longley. Because again, the third I would say is like, why are you pushing more with Lewandowski when you should be like on your toes this time? Because like there's a player behind you, so you should be ready. Whether the ball is played between the middle or between you and David Hansko, you should be ready to quick change it. And
I 100%
Longley,
get what you mean. But I think part of this is also a structural issue, right? Because you, you see where Hanko is, he is trying to cover both Yamal and the space in between him and Lewandowski, right? Sorry, not Lewandowski, for Raphinha in this instance, but normally it should be Olmo.
yeah, but
Almost
the
not
thing
as
is like,
fast as
this is where Rafinha actually outsmarted us. Like, Rafinha
he
was
did.
playing at
He saw
left
the
wing.
space that was
Exactly.
not available on the opposite side on the left wing, where he normally likes to cut inside to allow Balde to make that run on the flank and these other things. It wasn't really working. Molina and Giuliano defensively were doing a lot better in comparison, right? In this instance, what you see goes wrong here is you see that Hanko, while a good defender, is not at all comfortable defending this amount of space between him and the winger. And then also Longley, who is not able to defend space at all, is now giving away space for free. Raphinha sees this, he exploits it. Petri sees the ball, sees the play, and immediately passes it to perfection, and it's a goal. Oblak having a brilliant game, can't do anything about it because it's a brilliant pass and it's a brilliant player to finish. Great. More than that, though, is ideally, if we are defending in a five, goes a little further in, and you have Nico coming in. Even a five, it should be a 6-3-1. Nico should be covering that space where should be where Hanko is. Hanko should be in the space between Longley and that spot, ideally, if we're in that 6-3 run. And Raphinha can't exploit that because on the opposite side, he can't exploit it because, again, Giuliano and Bellina, for the most part, in the first half, are covering it well, and there's not much that is really troubling them on that side. Even then, as Fran was saying before, why we taking the foot off the gas when we've seen throughout this season the teams that have struggled, that have really given Barcelona real trouble, have been teams that don't take their foot off the gas. Sevilla has a terrible press compared to us. They don't have the best players. This is a very poor Sevilla compared to what they used to be over the 2010s. And yet they comfortably continue to create and create and create and create. And 4-1 was probably an unfair result to Sevilla. That could have been a much worse game for them. They could have scored more than that. Chelsea, also, obviously there's 1, 2, 3 errors that eventually makes it a 3-0, right? But more than that, in terms of the fact that Barcelona barely had chances to create. You had Reece James pressing, you had Caicedo pressing, you had Enzo Fernandez pressing. Every time that they had even a sniff of the ball, cutting it down. We were doing great until we decided to not bother and just,
Yeah, and when you know that your rival has some of the most technical players there are, and that you give Pedri spaces, and he'll do some genius. Why give him that space? Keep pressing, keep being aggressive. Don't let him have spaces. And if he eventually does something, he finds a space, he finds a pass, it will be because he's a genius. But you don't have to give him more space to work with. It's obvious that if you give Raphinha, Lamine, Pedri, Frankie wasn't playing, but it's obvious that if you give these players spaces, they'll do good stuff. It's common sense. So we were very good with being aggressive and stop being aggressive, and they found their spaces. It makes sense.
True. I think this goal doesn't happen with Johnny Cardoso on the pitch. Because for me, I would say, this just happened after we scored, like a 90th minute we scored, and then there's a VAR check, and then, there was some time wasted, and then eventually Barcelona switched up and they started to, trouble us. And then half of the players, I think, were still thinking, like, should we press up high or should we drop back? And because even in this move, what happens is, if you guys see this again, Longley clears the ball, okay, and Pedri gets the ball, and again, Barrios moves up, whereas the rest of the players are still over there. The rest of the player doesn't follow. And this is why Barrios is out of position, and Pedri has all the time in the world for Raphinha to just play a perfect through ball. So for me, it was a collective mistake, which again, I think the 2 goals we considered, actually 3 goals, were all defensive mistakes for me. In the third goal, like, it was a very, very lazy defending. But I can argue, like, you're tired, you're trying to get the equalizer. But the first 2 goals,
I'm not mad at the third goal. I'm mad because Ferran Torres scored it, and Ferran Torres is terrible. But I'm not mad at the third goal itself. I'm mad at the second
but
goal and the first
yeah,
goal.
but the first 2 goals, I think, were clear defensive mistakes, easily avoidable, easily avoidable. But anyway, that happens, and then eventually Barrios again, almost he made it 2-1 as well with a penalty. That was a very good
That
skill
was
from Dani
terrible.
Olmo, though. That was a very good move from Dani Olmo. I don't know, he bamboozled David Hansko, and then he gets inside Pablo Barrios as well. And Pablo Barrios makes the challenge. It's a penalty, and yeah, you can't really argue with that. I don't know what players. I think the only argument Koke had with the referee was maybe the contact happened outside the box. That's the only argument I think Koke was having with the referee. But anyway, it was a clear penalty, and Lewandowski thought, like it's Christmas, so he should give some balls to the fans. So he decided to do that, and he gave it to the fans, and that's it. I don't really remember anything other than that. Yes, again, one more move I remember. Again, David Hansko, Nico Gonzalez, and Pablo Barris as well. All are ball watching. Lamine Yamal has the ball, No one presses him. Lamine Yamal plays a perfect ball to Lewandowski, and Lewandowski gets the header, and it's a fantastic save from Oblak. By the way, that was 2-1 right there. Could have been 2-1 right there as well. But anyway, a great save from Oblak, and the only move we had after that was the Giuliano. Only the one time, only once we had Giuliano, you know, in the back of the defense of Barcelona with a through ball, and Giuliano again with his pace. I think we didn't really make the most of it. Like Gerard Martin, some would argue that
Eric
should
Martin
should
and
have been
Eric
a
Garcia in that lineup should have immediately said, yeah, look, should have Simeone licking his lips, giving us a chance to score a goal. But instead, we saw Gerard Martin just taking a stab at all of it. The fact that he got a yellow card in the first half and we didn't challenge him at all in the second half.
exactly that's what I'm saying. Like how can you like we are a team like who are good at this, getting the players sent off, and then again like after that no one actually tries to take on Gerard Martin, and like tries to get a mistake out of him. No one. Again, this guy is playing out of position as well. This guy playing as a left center back for Barcelona. So you could have made the most of it, but you did not. Now some would argue if it's a red card or not. What do you guys think? Is it a red card?
Hmm.
It's a
You
yellow.
said,
Like
you say that we're good at getting players sent off, but are we nowadays? I don't
no.
think we have the players that
Yeah, we don't really have
do some.
that kind of players
It's
anyway. Yeah.
Giuliano and Giuliano alone. You know, they like
Yeah, last season, okay, De Paul
the Paul
did some good stuff at that. Yeah, he was great at that.
Korea.
But nowadays, what do we have?
That's true. That's true.
Giuliano's having an off day. We don't have anyone, to be honest.
That's true. That's true. I definitely agree with you guys. And but anyway, that was the only thing action happened in the first half, and we were lucky enough to be honest with 1-1 with the penalty miss and with the save from Oblak. Now the second half, I think the second half we started very good. I think it was, the game was very much pretty much opened up, and it was like from box to box for Atleti and for Barca as well. With again Lamine Yamal, this time he beated everyone, plays a perfect ball to Raphinha. Raphinha, I thought that was a goal as well, but Raphinha, I don't know what he does. He misses the goal. And just after that, now this picture, I'm gonna show you guys. Like no Atleti fan would like this. Giuliano. I mean, like again, we had again before that as well. I think this is the first time we had Julian Alvarez behind the defense line of Barca as well, where he tries to chip in Juan Garcia. And then the second time we try to do it, this time Julian Alvarez takes his time, waits for a teammate to arrive, and Giuliano comes in, and just look at the space over here. A massive space to score. How much XT would you give for this one, Fran?
Wait,
It
which of the pictures is it?
The Giuliano one.
Is the one you sent after the goal, right?
Yeah. The Giuliano one. A perfect gap between the defenders as well. Juan Garcia is leaning towards the right. Just look at the gap on that far post. It's a simple pass, and the ball is in the back of the net.
This I don't think I would be good at predicting XG, but a penalty is 0.75. And this is a solid 0.4, 0.5.
I think so too. I feel like this is, if you get that on target, it should be a goal. This is one of those.
Yeah, but take into consideration that XG, I think that's not. But take into consideration the goalkeeper's positioning. I think. It doesn't matter really.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. The thing I'm saying is like it's literally like it's the same distance from the penalty spot, like 11 yards, 12 yards. It's a simple pass. I mean, Juan Garcia should be picking up the ball from the back of the net. There's a perfect gap as well between I think it's Balde and Kubarsi. I don't. Ferran Torres would score this. I'm pretty sure.
Would he? After that Chelsea game, I'm joking. Uh, I want to talk briefly about that Raphinha miss actually. Because I was thinking about it, and I was like, as much as Molina was having a really good game, this is one of Molina's flaws which is why I didn't think he should have played the full 90. Molina is very, very good at defending what he can see, and he almost never looks behind him at any point in time. So if you make a run behind Molina, especially on his right hand side, he won't notice you. He's never defensive back post well. So when I saw Raphinha doing that, and it wasn't the only time that happened in the second half, mind you. When I saw Raphinha doing that, I was thinking to myself, please sub on Pubil. This can't happen for the full 90, and they won't score on us. I know for a fact they would score on us. So said, so done for the third goal, but still, you know what I mean?
Molina was good, but when you see him, he's sort of a time bomb.
Yeah.
Yes, he's playing well. He did make a good assist, but I don't want him to play the full 90s. I don't want him to play post 60 minutes. So yeah, I mean, he was good, but there will be a time when that mistake comes. But if you watch the game, you see that Molina and Giuliano were closer than Hanchko and Lenglet, and that
True.
helps, obviously.
True. Also, like after the miss, I think Julian Alvarez started to have a much better second half than the first half. He started to link up play much better, and again he created the chance for Giuliano, and then he takes a try as well with Juan Garcia with the chip, and he tries to, and then yeah, I hope he executed it. It would have been a perfect
that
goal.
would be the best goal ever.
But anyway, so we started linking up play. Barrios improved as well. Barrios had a much better second half as well. And I'm just gonna bring this up again. This one, the Gallagher and David Hansko is completely empty on the left hand side. Barrios plays a perfect ball for Gallagher, and I just sent you in case you can check this out. Just check this picture out. Gallagher, if he gets this touch right, we are literally in. If he
Oh,
gets this touch right.
the horrendous. Oh, this is so.
Just look at the space. Look at the space over here.
This
Is
this
he
is
have
this is an argument as to why I don't like Gallagher. Not that he's a bad player. He's been good to us. But this is a major moment where you realize this is kind of why we don't play you a lot, because your first touch is not even just your first touch. Your technical levels are not enough. You have the desire, you have the pressing, you have the know-how, you have the ideas that I think, and even the physical level, I think a lot of La Liga is not really ready for. But you don't have the technical level for La Liga, and that's a bare minimum. If he had the bare minimum and he had all of those other things, he'd flourish. But he doesn't have it. I think if he got this right and he passed in Hanko there, that's either a Baena, a Julian, or somebody goal. Look at how far back Barcelona is in that picture. Where it's like
exactly?
they're not
Look at the
ready for it.
pairs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'll say 7. Kunde is pretty much going for the Gallagher right now.
Yeah.
7 players are literally out of position. 7 players, I'm telling you. And
Yeah.
if Kunde tries to go into press Conor Gallagher, you have Julian Alvarez empty. You have Álex Baena just behind Julian Alvarez empty. You have Giuliano making that run as well. That's 3 players. And then you have the option of David Hansko as well, who is completely empty on the left hand side for the overlap. So again, this could have been a much better move if Gallagher gets his touch right. Instead, what he do? Oh, here the touch, the referee. I don't know why he gets attracted to the referee jersey, because the touch he literally let it over there, and the whole Barca defense just came back to their position and the move was gone.
Yeah,
And yeah, Yamil fouled him as well after that.
and you say, okay, we know Gallagher does not have the technical level to play deeper. Let's play him closer to the box, attacking spaces. But inevitably, you will find yourself in a situation like this, where a bad touch can cost a goal. So he's simply not good enough for this league. Different leagues work differently. Premier League usually requires more physical attributes.
I,
Here,
I
if
agree.
you're
I
not
definitely,
if
I
you're not
definitely agree
technically
with you.
good,
Yeah.
yeah, if you're not technically solid, it's hard.
I definitely agree with you on this one because again, like if technically you're good, I think like in La Liga you can. If again, if Gallagher becomes technically good, he can be a very good player in La Liga.
You can't, but that's the problem. You can't become that this late in your career. Like you have to have it. You know what I mean? And he's clearly worked on
True,
it.
true. But I think Gallagher is perfect for Premier League though. Like he has that.
Top Bundesliga.
This, yeah, exactly. And for example, like Man United is going after him. For him, it's just have to like win the ball, just play box to box, win the ball, give it to Bruno Fernandes, and that's it. Your job is
Yeah,
done.
do. I don't think Premier League fans watch La Liga a lot. I mean, they surely think he's playing well. No, we can we
Have
can
no
get
idea.
we can get our 40 million.
That's the English tax one, English players, English tax.
But
But anyway,
I
so
think
we
to expand that point though, that you two put said, um, this game is a really good example of the players who shouldn't be in the squad. Um, I don't want to hate too much on Solat because I don't think it was his fault that he didn't score. I think he had chances. He should have been given a little more chances. But even then, your main thing this season has been your main thing for us has always been you have a weird knack for Barcelona. Scoring some of these smaller games, you do something. You have 4 goals in about 15 games with a lot of minutes. I don't know what you really serve the purpose for. Nico Gonzalez, same vibes. I I thought he was going to be a very different player for us. Um, you look at Gallagher and that touch kills the entire attack. We could have scored a goal there. You look at Longley this game. Ironically, I feel differently about Molina a little bit, but I still think he's a bit of a surplus to means at times because it's like, okay, we technically have 3 right backs who can also play centre back. Do we need Molina out of these 3? Because Pubila is still better than you, even at your very best. Pubila is better than you, and Llorente is one of the best right backs in La Liga / Europe. You know what I mean? But if anything, if Simeone doesn't lose his mind and play Molina all the time, then I would be fine with Molina staying in the squad for a little bit longer, at least until summer, where he will have to leave. But Galal, who didn't even feature today, also has to go. And we'll talk about the winter window a little later. This is like a prelude.
true, true. I
The
mean,
thing is,
the good thing is that Alemani was in the stand. So yeah, I hope he's like seeing what we are seeing as well. So yeah,
yeah, but
sorry, go on, Fran.
we have okay. Right now, Molina isn't playing super bad, but he was the problem before. He cost us games. But if it's not him, it's Lenglet. If it's not Lenglet, it's Nick Gonzalez. If it's not Nick Gonzalez, it's Sorlot. Sorlot, well, he isn't the main culprit here again. So right now, the problem wasn't Molina or Sorlot. Now the problem is Langley. And we have these little problems across the whole squad whenever we need something different because, yeah, our starting 11 is pretty solid. Not against Barcelona if Simeone chooses the players he chooses, but our starting lineup is pretty solid. But the minute we need to make a change, we're in trouble.
Yeah. But
True,
let's talk
true.
about the other things as well. I don't want to
This
get too into
the
the
second
transfer
goal,
thing.
yeah,
That's the next episode, friend.
exactly. But anyway, so I think like the second half we started much better, just like we started the first half, and I think we were doing much better. Now the downfall came when Baena got injured. That was around the 60th minute. Baena got injured, and then he substituted with Thiago Almada. And Baena is doing pretty well with covering up the defensive part as well, and with the 50-50 challenges as well, with creating something as well with his like the runs as well. Now Baena goes off, and then the second goal came for Barcelona. Now this was a very good move from Barcelona as well because again, if you look at the picture again for the second goal, if you look at over here, Lamine Yamal has the ball. There is Thiago Almada, David Hansco, and behind David Hansco, there's Jimenez. What is he doing over there? And then we have Paulo Barrios, Koke, and then Conor Gallagher, and then Longley. Eventually, he shifts as well because Jimenez, I don't know what he's doing over there. Longley shifts as well, and then Molina is right at the center back position. And so this ball comes in. I think he plays it to Eric Garcia. Eric Garcia plays to Pedri. Again, Pedri plays a perfect ball to Dani Olmo. Dani Olmo beats Longley with the fake that is going, with the ball, but comes back inside where Jimenez now is coming from the wing position to the central position, tackles Olmo. The ball falls to Robert Lewandowski. Molina and Jimenez tries to do a 2v1. The ball ricochets from Jimenez, draws to Dani Olmo perfectly, and that was such a good finish from Dani Olmo. Like now, the only problem over here is Longley was just ball watching, like all of us, with while all of this was happening. So,
Like
again,
usual.
Yeah, like you should.
like again, a very proper defensive mistake. Such a stupid goal to concede. I don't know what to say. You are at 1-1. You are pressing Barcelona as well. You're creating a few chances, and then you give away something like this. It's very, very frustrating. It's Our defense is all over the place. I don't know, David Hansko, and I don't know what Jimenez is doing behind David Hansko in this move. I have no idea. Can someone please enlighten me?
It's more frustrating when you realize that Langley, what last season was at Atleti on loan. The loan finished. We had no reason to bring that guy back. No reason. We could have just, I know he was free, but by spending 10 million more, we could have got Yarek. So,
I have
that's
another
what.
York fan in an episode.
Yeah, it's the player I can remember that went up like really cheap, but he's not a guy that he makes mistakes on the ball. He makes mistakes without the ball. His problem is that he is just horrible at any sort of decision making, and it's always going to cost you against the best players in the world. Of course, he's going to play well against Salomon Rondon, but this is Raphinha.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that was unlucky as well for us because again, Jimenez challenges the ball twice and he misses the ball twice as well, and he's just not able to clear it, and then again it just reaches Dani Olmo, and then Longley was should I go here, should I go here, and then by the time the ball was with Dani Olmo, and then it was such a wonderful finish. But then anyway, the match is not finished yet. Again, we move up a little bit, and then David Hansko with a perfect ball to Thiago Almada, which again, I didn't save a screenshot in this one, but I think you guys know what I'm talking about. Thiago Almada.
Yeah.
I mean, you can dribble past 11 players for all I care, but if the ball doesn't, touch the back of the net, what's the point? And
You know what the funniest part is? In that same dribble, he reminded me a lot of Korea there, but in that dribble, I think I saw it any moment as well, where it's you could have easily passed that to Solat, and Solat has a very clear sight on goal. But he decided to take it on himself, and he wants to do it, whatever, and slips in and think. But it's just damn. I really do miss Korea a little bit because I feel like Korea scores that like 9 times out of 10.
You don't understand how well Correa is playing right now in Mexico. This guy has the quality to be a backup for us. Still, I much prefer having him off the bench than Sorloth or Raspadori. Well, Raspadori didn't come on, but he's non-existent at this point.
But again, I would say Thiago Almada for me, yes, he messed up this thing. I think he should have taken a shot. When he got inside, he faked a shot and then he had the gap. Perfect. Angel Correa would have scored from that gap. He takes a touch again, and then again he takes a touch, and then by the time it's too late. And then I'm just watching the ball. When he shoots the ball, I'm like, okay, when it's gonna hit the net, and then I'm like, where is this thing going?
Well, now that Baena is injured, we have to think about Almada starting more because I think that Simeone sees Almada as the Baena backup, but we have to think about where do we want Almada, or what do we want him to do, because we saw him at the start of the season playing very deep, like picking the ball up from Hansko. But we also saw him playing quite well through the right, arriving late in the box, playing with Giuliano. So that's going to be a topic for the next weeks if Baena's injury lasts weeks.
We got 3 injuries from this game and we lost 3-1. This stinks. We have, and it's 3 players that we really need in Johnny Cardoso, Jimenez, and Baena. So we're probably back to playing more long way football. Or maybe Simeone sees he light and puts Kubil, Hanko alongside Ruggieri and Molina. Either way,
True.
it's probably going to be. Although I don't think Simeone is going to do that. I don't think he wants to risk the fact that we're on 2 right backs right now. If one of them gets injured, we're going to 1, maybe even if both of them get injured, that's it. But as is, we have issues going into the next games and all this other stuff, you know.
True. We'll talk. But anyway, like when Griezmann came on as well, the last 10 minutes of the game, where like you actually need a goal. There was no press from either of Griezmann or Sorloth. I don't know if you guys noticed that. There was no press from Griezmann or Sorloth coming away in the last 10 minutes. And anyway, so we created one chance at the end of the match, which again I think was our last chance of the game before Ferran Torres scored the goal. And this was again, this one was the perfect move from Thiago Almada and David Hansko. I think David Hansko and Thiago Almada were combining well, which I am very, very happy about.
He also
And
did that
then-
with Ruggieri this season. You remember that? Remember he was doing that with Ruggieri?
True. And then, but anyway, David Hansko plays with Thiago Almada. I don't know, Thiago Almada gets past 2-3 players over there, and now just look at this image. I think he makes the wrong choice of passing to Griezmann. Sorloth was a much better choice over here for a tap in, a much better choice. But then, like I said, he makes a very bad decision to Griezmann over here. And even if Griezmann, let's say, like that's on Griezmann as well. Not saying that Griezmann should have put the ball at least on target out, even if it was a little bit of a hard touch from Thiago Almada or a little bit strong from Thiago Almada. But I think Griezmann should have done better for sure. But I think that's such a bad choice because again, Griezmann can't. Even if he shoots, it's probably a save. Juan Garcia saved it, or maybe it's a defender blocks it because again, the right choice was Sorloth. Again, bad decision making. So everything that could have gone wrong in this game went wrong in this game, and I don't see anything positive coming out of this game other than just Molina. That's it. Or wanted to say Baena, but then he's injured as well. So nothing positive. And the next match is against Athletic Bilbao at San Mamés. Not an easy game. And we have actually 2 away games coming up at San Mamés, and then we're going in the Champions League as well against PSV away. Both are important games, and we are kind of fucked up, to be honest. I don't know how we can tackle the situation. Llorente is not there.
You know what my answer is? Give Taufik his debut.
Like Llorente is not there. Robelino Mans is not there. Jimenez, I don't know how bad is that injury. And then we have Johnny Cardoso is not there. He just got injured. Álex Baena again. We don't know how bad is that injury. And with again Johnny Cardoso as well, how bad is that injury? And yeah, there you go. We're left with Makubil, Longley, and then Molina as a right back, and then we have David Hansko or Ruggieri for the left back options. But
Don't forget
And
Javi
for-
Galán.
yeah, I think his days are numbers. His days are numbered at Atleti right now. I think he'll be gone in winter transfer market. But in midfield as well, we have Koke, Gallagher, Barrios as usual. Johnny Cardoso, I haven't seen him much. Then up front as well, Julian Alvarez. He has to turn his situation around as well. He's not playing good away from home. Just 1 goal in last 15 matches, not good. But it is what it is. Your overall thoughts on the game, guys, or actually we just go through ratings and then we can finish. It's already turning too long. Oblak, let's go with Oblak.
9, 8, between 8 and 9, no?
I think he did as well as you could do in a game like this. Like he gave us everything. You know what I mean?
I'll go with 7.5. I mean, he conceded 3.
Damn.
I mean,
Right.
it was kind of that game, like you concede 3 goals as well. So for goalkeepers,
He
it's well
almost saved
placed.
the third goal too, which is even funnier. That's it's like he did so much for us. I don't know what to say. I don't think that's fair. But let's
But yeah, 7.5 for me. Okay, Nahuel Molina.
I think that is an example of like a 7. Like he did
Yeah,
good what
7.
he needed to do. He had his flaws, but he contributed offensively. He did a lot, and I can't really hate too much on his performance. I did wish he was subbed off earlier, but he got full 90 and whatever.
7, I agree. 7 as well. I feel happy for Molina, by the way. With all the thing he's been going through, getting booed by his own fans, and then slowly, he's getting back. But yeah, and he has to play more games as well. Again, we'll be here to judge him on the weekend as well against Atleti Bilbao. But anyway, at the centre back, Jose Maria Jimenez.
Good game. Not too much to
Good game.
Could have been better.
Okay.
I'm going to say
Fran?
a 6.
I agree with Fran. 6. Here comes the next.
I want to hear your point of view before I say my point of view. Go ahead.
Clement Longley, I would say, just for that ridiculous block he did with his back, where he was doing a
Where
roll.
he jumped into the ball somehow.
Yes, I'll give him a 6 as well.
6?
Okay, what?
Yep.
Six.
6, yeah, I'll give him
No way he had the same performance as Jimenez. Jimenez could have done better.
I'll give him a 6.
Solid 3.
2, 3. Okay.
3 because you at least were a body onto the field where you had passing. You're not as bad as Nico to me.
I'll give him a 6. Okay, David Hansko. For me, David Hansko had a very good game against Lemon Yamal. I'll give him a 7.
I'm giving him a 6. I think
I'm going to give it a 6 as well.
Not his own fault, but you could only do so much in a 1v1. I think Simeone kind of shafted him a little bit. He should not have been in a 1v1, but he did good when he needed to.
Yeah, 6.
Fair enough. Giuliano.
Same thing.
6. I'll give him a 5.
I was going to say 5.
You were gonna give Longley a 6 and Giuliano a 5.
Yes. Because there were moments. I mean, yes, Longley had some moments as well.
Longley is the reason we lost this game. Giuliano is not the reason we lost this game. That's not fair.
Again, I can't blame Longley solely for it, but yeah. Giuliano, I'll give Giuliano a 5 because again, Giuliano for me, I just remember 2 moves by him. The miss could have been a 2-1. He should score that one. So yeah, 5.
Okay.
Fran, I didn't hear you.
I also said 5.
Okay. See, there you go. Fran,
yeah, no way, but I also gave Lenglet a 2.
Yeah, well, I'm saying I can understand Fran's reasoning. You can't give Giuliano a 5 and then give Longley a 6. That's nonsense. What you do?
Juliano should have been there defending Raphinha.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, we move to midfield. Koke.
Doesn't Koke count as a substitute, or are we not counting Johnny because he got injured?
I mean, I can't trade Johnny Cardoso. What are you gonna say?
Johnny
We had
just
exactly.
I think he was good after Raphinha and Pedri came off, but not really much before that. I really can't give him anything higher than a 5, to be honest with you. I think it wasn't that great.
Yeah, I agree 5. I agree 5. Okay, Paulo Barrios.
This is a very funny rating because he gave away a penalty and was playing really dumb in the first half, but he was really, really good in the second half. So I don't know how to rate him properly.
5. I'll give him a 6 as well.
Let's go with that. Let's go with that.
Yeah, 6.
Nico Gonzalez.
1,
just like the number of passes he made. 1.
Terrible.
I was so
Literally.
surprised. I really didn't think he completed one pass, but I went to check one pass.
One accurate
One
pass.
pass.
One
And he
exactly.
wasn't playing. He wasn't playing as an isolated winger. He was playing quite centrally and quite deep for him.
Just
True.
terrible.
It's the worst thing I've as a start I've seen. So yeah,
One out
for
of
one.
6 passes. 1 out of 6 passes.
Mm, very nice, very nice.
Yeah.
I never want to see
Don't.
a performance like that from any other Atletico Madrid player this season. I think from that alone, you should be forced to start playing off the bench or just not getting starts at all.
True.
So
That was awful. That was awful. But anyway, you guys, is it one as well?
yes,
I was going to give him
From
a 2 because I gave Lenglet a 2.
no,
But
but
yeah, one it's okay.
one for the 1.5 passes, that is nonsense. Solat has never done that before. That's crazy, and I don't like Solat. That's crazy, man.
Julian Alvarez.
I think a 6 or 6.5 because he was really good in the second half, even though I think he didn't probably should have done more. But the first half was very mediocre at the same time.
I think that the main problem with him in the first half is that he was receiving, but he was receiving the ball with a lot of players around him. And yeah, he should have played better, but I don't think also he was fully at fault over what he was doing. So I will also give him a 6, maybe 6.5.
Yeah.
6. I'll go with 6. I agree. 6. Then we go with Álex Baena.
8, maybe 9, 8.
No, 8.
8. I agree. 8. I agree. Okay. Substitutions. Conor Gallagher.
5.
5, yes, 5.
I'm crazy.
5. I agree. I agree. Thiago Almada.
The thing is, I like that. Okay, he made some mistakes. We have things to improve, but I like that he was as active as he was. He got chances.
I don't know if
Which-
it's because our expectations are so low from right now, but yeah, he played well, I guess. So
5.5 for me.
I was going to say 6.5.
I think I'll go 6 because I'm in between both of y'all.
Okay, so it's Thiago Almada, Koke, Gallagher,
Griezmann and Solat.
Griezmann and Solat. Griezmann, I didn't see anything from Griezmann. I think I don't know how to rate him.
That was a bad
Like I
captain.
don't,
I'll say that.
maybe a 2 or 3. Like seriously, like Griezmann was really bad.
I can't give him that low of a rating because of the fact that the other players are also there. But at the same time, it really was a bad cameo. I think he just didn't have enough minutes to really solidify that. Solat, can't really say too much about it. He did okay, like a 5. Like, whatever.
Yeah,
Like,
5.
5, I agree. I think like did you guys see like when Solar was trying to make those runs behind Barca's defense, he was playing a little bit selfish. He wanted to score himself again when he was cutting inside around Gerard Martin. Did you guys notice that?
I would have preferred he took the shot, to be honest with you. Like, if anybody's supposed to score in that situation, it has to be you.
True, but again, I think Thiago Almada should have laid it for Solar. It was an equalizer in the last minute. But anyway, guys, so yeah, I think pretty much that's it. It's again a very long episode with all the frustration out. And do let us know your opinion, guys. What do you think about the game and how much would you rate the players and who was your best player, who was your worst player? I think we all know who was the worst player. So yeah, it'll be a very close competition between Nico Gonzalez
Giuliano.
and Juliano.
Nice.
And then no, I mean I said Nico Gonzalez, but okay. So, but anyway, guys, we'll see you guys soon for the preview of Athletic Bilbao, and yeah, hopefully some good news coming out from the training grounds as well, with no big injuries. So until then, Opa Atleti. Ciao, ciao.